I have absolute confidence that Loretta Lynch will exceed the high standards set for her because she's cut from the exact same cloth. Both she and Eric embody the mantra of one of their predecessors, the man after whom this building is named, who said, "The purpose of life is to contribute in some way to making things better." The purpose of life is to contribute in some way to making things better. 5 generations, your brother is also a Baptist minister, of Baptist preachers, will teach you how to make things better. And as I read, your dad always taught you to stand up for what's right, speak out for what's just, get up when you get knocked down, and move on. If there's anything you should know about Loretta Lynch, following her father's example, she excelled in everything she has done from the time she was a child. She'd never been limited by the lower expectations of others, but has always exceeded the expectations she even set for herself. Top of her class in high school, got into a lot of universities, but decided she wanted to go to Harvard. Harvard undergraduate, a law school, did well as an aspiring young lawyer. And for 30 years, she's been a first-rate, fair-minded, independent lawyer and prosecutor as a U.S. attorney and in private practice. She's shown the resolve to prosecute and jail terrorists, mobsters, and gang members. She's shown fidelity to the law and rooted out public corruption. She's shown determination to bring down financial fraudsters and child abusers. And she's shown a dogged pursuit to bust the brutal human trafficking rings that she has encountered. She's shown an unyielding commitment to the rule of law and basic human rights. She forged from battling violent crime in the mean streets of New York to striving for accountability in the crucible of genocide in Rwanda. And as a top federal prosecutor, she's worked with and learned from law enforcement officers and agents. You're going to have a great partner in this one, Director Comey. In her own words, she said she is a better prosecutor because of them. So she has unimpeachable credibility to strengthen relations between law enforcement and communities that serve and protect. Folks often say that I trust those people, Patrick's heard me say this many times in public life, who arrive at the right decision not through an intellectual examination of the argument, but arrive at the right decision when it starts in their gut, goes to their heart, and is articulated by a fine mind. That's who this woman is. That's how Loretta gets it right. And the President and I can't wait to start working with her. Her priority will remain using every tool available to disrupt attacks against our homeland and to bring terrorists to justice. She'll enhance the department's capacity to combat cyber attacks and cyber crimes. She'll continue to pursue and prosecute those who prey on the most in need of our protection. And she'll continue to lead with her humble yet fierce determination to stand up for what is right, do what is just, and not yield to anyone. I will close with this. I imagine being the daughter of an English teacher and librarian, the daughter of North Carolina, Maya Angelou's words have never been too far away from Loretta and her thinking. Maya Angelou once said, in her straightforward manner, she said, "If someone shows you who they are, believe them. If someone shows you who they are, believe them." A very simplistic phrase, but pretty profound. She has shown us her entire life who she is. So believe her. I believe her. The President believes her. And all the people in this department will believe her. Loretta, you've shown who you are in everything you've done. And you've upheld the very values of the oath you're about to take. And we believe you. To the staff of the United States Department of Justice, you're the best of the best. And with Loretta, you again have the best of the best as your leaders. All of the qualities she brings to the job of Attorney General are because of what she's learned as a federal prosecutor. She's one of you. She is one of you. To the American people, we're blessed with another remarkable public servant to lead this department. And with that, Loretta, I'm now going to swear you in as the Attorney General of the United States of America. All right, I want you to put your left hand in the Bible and raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Loretta Elizabeth Lynch.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies.
Against all enemies.
Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the same.
And allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
On which I am about to enter.
Of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I have to say, as I look out on all of you gathered here today, it seems like such an understatement to say that my heart is full. But it is. It is full of the most deep and profound gratitude that I have felt in quite some time. And I must, of course, thank so many people who made it possible for me to stand here before you today. First and foremost, I have to thank the President for his faith in me and asking me to lead the department that I love to even greater heights. And Mr. Vice President, thank you for your presence, for your comments here today, but also for your steadfast support and your wise counsel through this process. And it's been quite a process. But I also have to thank Senator Schumer and someone who's here today as well, Senator Leahy. Thank you so much for being here, but also for your support, not just today, but over the years, and for doing, frankly, what I thought was impossible, making the floor of the United States Senate a welcoming place for me and for my family. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And of course, thanks to my wonderful family. As you can see all around you, we are quite the force multiplier. And many of you have come to know my father throughout this process. He has been at every hearing and every vote. But he didn't just start now. I remember looking up as a young AUSA, preparing to do my very first trial and seeing him in the gallery. And he was there for everyone thereafter. He has encouraged me in all things, even when my choices were not the ones that he would have made for me. And in that, he has been the best of fathers, and I thank you. And I hope that you all know that without him, I would not be standing here before you today, having just been sworn in as the 83rd Attorney General of the United States of America, just 1 week after his 83rd birthday. And of course, my mother, who could not be here today, but who is never far from my thoughts or from my heart. My mother grew up in a world where she was always told what she could not do or whom she could not be, but she always knew that she could soar. And she did what would have seemed impossible in that small North Carolina town of her youth. She raised a daughter whom she always told, whatever the dream, to be a lawyer, a prosecutor, or the Attorney General. Of course you can. I thank her as well. And I have to thank my wonderful husband, who has supported all my choices and all my dreams. I would not trade his love and support for all the riches in the world, because to me, they are all the riches in the world. Tremendous thanks also to my colleagues and friends here in the Department of Justice, in the Eastern District of New York and beyond. But even more than that, Tremendous thanks go to some people who could not be here today, the literally thousands of people, many of whom I have never met personally, who have expressed their support throughout this process. From the sisterhood of my sorority and all the Greeks who came together, to the churches and the schools who wrote letters and made calls, to people on the street who stopped me and sometimes said just a word or two. Please know that sometimes those words made all the difference to me as I traveled this road, and I thank you. I thank you all as I prepare to join once again with the outstanding people of this Department of Justice. It has been the honor of my life and the privilege of my profession to have stood shoulder to shoulder with you on twice before from the Eastern District of New York. Because you are the ones who make real the promise of justice and redress for all Americans. I am honored beyond words to step into this larger role today as your Attorney General as we continue the core work of our mission, the protection of the American people. Now, all of us here at the department are here because at some point, and maybe we were just a little girl or a little boy, we said, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a law enforcement officer. I want to be a federal agent. I want to be someone's hero. At the heart of that, for me certainly and for all of us, whether attorney or agent, staff or principal, is the desire to leave this world a better place for us having been a part of it. And the challenge in that, for you, for me, for all of us that love this department and love the law, is to use the law to that end. To not just represent the law and to enforce the law, but to use it to make real the promise of America, the promise of fairness, the promise of equality, of liberty and justice for all. I've been reminded recently that we're all just here for a time, whether in this building or even on this earth. But the values that we hold dear will live on long after we've left this stage. It's our responsibility, it's our mission, while we are here, to breathe life into them, to imbue them with the strength of our convictions and the weight of our efforts. I know that this can be done, because I'm here to tell you, if a little girl from North Carolina who used to tell her grandfather in the fields to lift her up on the back of his mule so she could see way up high, Granddaddy, can grow up to become the chief law enforcement officer of the United States of America, we can do anything. We can imbue our criminal justice system with both strength and fairness for the protection of both the needs of victims and the rights of all. We can restore trust and faith, both in our laws and in those of us who enforce them. We can protect the most vulnerable among us from the scourge of modern-day slavery, so antithetical to the values forged in blood in this country. We can protect the growing cyber world, and we can give those in our care both protection from terrorism and the security of their civil liberties. My friends, we will do this as we have accomplished all things, both great and small, working together, moving forward, and using justice as our compass. And I'm here to tell you, I cannot wait to begin that journey with all of you. I want to thank you all for being here today, not just here in this room, but in my life over the years. Thank you all so much, and I look forward to working with you as we make real the manifest promise of this, our Department of Justice. Thank you so much.